If you or someone you know is thinking of running from home, has run away, or if you are a runaway ready to go back home, call 1-800-RUNAWAY. That's 1-800-786-2929.
This episode is sponsored by Big Fish Bail Bonds. Big Fish Bail Bonds is your first choice in bondsmen. We are located 3 blocks away from the Sedgwick County Jail in Wichita, Kansas. We accept all major credit cards and we accept payment plans on big bonds with no collateral in some cases. Find us at bigfishbailbonds.us or give us a call at 316-262-4100. Big Fish Bail Bonds. Big or small, we release them all.
Back Home Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kansas Missing and Unsolved broadcast. I'm your host, Ricky Tabruggi. Joining me down from Arizona is Derek Relaford. How's it going, Derek?
Pretty good, buddy. Pretty good. We got Baby Blue Eyes here over on YouTube.
Well, I'm not seeing comments yet because I'm full screen, so I have to show them.
I got it pinned. You don't see it pinned?
I do it. I can see it. Baby Blue Eyes. Chris Unruh. Hey, Ricky and Derek. Hey, Chris. Hey, Ellen. Well, I do another podcast with Tatum, the gal that started originally helping me with Kansas Missing and Unsolved, and she's branched off doing her own page and a podcast, and I do the podcast with her. Tonight I didn't because I've had a very hectic, busy day. I did some car shopping and got me a new vehicle and that kind of thing, and I don't know why my background is not working.
I don't know, but I wouldn't mess with it because right now you're coming in loud and clear. Let's not mess with it. Rodney Cox is here.
All right. Hey, Rodney. I had to replace my car. It was just, I was telling Derek before the show that for some reason, it's a 94 Ford Crown Vic, and for some reason, on cold days when it started, the windshield wipers just start. And yesterday I got in it and started it, windshield wiper started going, and the driver's side windshield wiper blade flew off. So I'm like, okay. Arm and all. Came loose from the other
for
one.
A new one.
So I'm like, oh, it's time to replace her.
She said she thought you were both live at 4:45.
4:45. No, 4:45. I was finalizing the deal on the vehicle I got. So right around that area.
Yeah.
So
who knows? Well, let's cover some cases. We're going to go over some of the cases we go over every week first. Dietrich's one we want to cover every week until we get some resolution. He's going to tell you all about it.
Yeah, Dietrich Foster missing from Independence, Kansas since April 12th, 2020. He was 37 when he went missing. He's now 40, 5'9", 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th of 2020. He was last seen around April 12th of the same year. In Independence, KBI agents in detecting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into Foster's disappearance. Again, when Dietrich went missing, he was 37. He's now 40. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700, 529-64017. And there is a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. So if you have any information at all on his case, please don't hesitate to call it in. He's got family and kids and things just wanting him home. So let's see what we can do to help that happen.
Yeah, it has been a long time. Trisha Arnold is in the house.
Hey, Trisha. You're welcome, Ashley. Thank you for being here tonight.
Yeah, I hope there's some.
As I say, so yesterday we had FBI presence here in Salina. They were over on South 8th Street investigating a house over there. I don't know why, or there's been no information released on that end of it, just that the FBI was here from the Kansas City field office investigating that house. So,
wow. Wow.
Don't know. And a lot of police were there just basically to do traffic control, but FBI was doing the rest. So, I don't know if we'll ever find out or not.
I guess if the news prints something. Roxanne's here. Esther saying good evening.
Good evening, Esther.
Dawn is here.
Waving. Okay.
Let's talk about Dana Jane Bruce.
Okay, she's missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. She was 23 when she was missing. She's now 37. She's 5'2", weighs 98 pounds, has brown hair and green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with that man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man that Dana was with on the night she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her. After they left the bar, she left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush, and she does not have credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 23. She would now be 37. She's 5'2", weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots, black at the ends, with red highlights and green or hazel eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. She has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She is blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced one time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-6100. Or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178, or their toll-free number 866-362-6422, and see if we can't get Dana back home to her family and her kids. Because again, here's another case where they've been looking and searching high and low since 2008, and it's just time to bring Dana home. So if anybody has information that can help make that happen, please call that in. Definitely got to get it called in.
Yeah.
You're very welcome, Ellen. I'm glad to do it. Hopefully it'll get somebody talking and, we can bring Dana home where she needs to be.
Let's talk about Kenny Rychek.
Okay. He's missing from here in Salina, Kansas since November 4th, 2019. He was 69 when he went missing. He's now 72. He's 5'9", weighs 175 pounds. He has gray hair and blue eyes. He does sometimes use the last name Brown as opposed to Rychek. He does suffer from diminished mental health capabilities and is on disability. He has not tried to access any of his money since he was last seen. He may have family in northwest Kansas, possibly around Colby. He was last seen at the Gospel Mission in Salina. He left there and has not been seen or heard from since that time. He does not have a cell phone, a vehicle, or any identification. His main mode of transportation was a bicycle. He would push around or ride around and pick up scrap metal and take it over to Salina Iron and Metal, which is now all metal recycling, and cash that in for some pocket money. Again, at the time he went missing, he was 69. He's now 72. He's 5'9", weighs about 175 pounds, has gray hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Kenny's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or Crime Stoppers at 785-825-84. Text S-TIPS to crimes 274-637 or visit www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip that way. Or you can call the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Kenny located and back to where he needs to be. But as I mentioned before, with all these hot summers and blistering cold winters, it's just hard to hang on to that hope, but we try.
Yeah. And then it was nice that they seems like they're gonna look into it a little bit more.
Yeah. Hey Kelly, how are you and Scarlett doing? Yeah, but he was all over the place here in town, riding his bike. I would see him at gas stations playing pinball and video games, or the corner front center doing the same, or just riding his bike down the street talking to people. He's the kindest guy you'd ever want to meet.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Still nothing new from my sources on Alexander Perez, but we're going to keep talking about him. But another one that's just we really need some information if anybody has any.
Yep, Alexander Perez missing from Ulysses, Kansas since December 1st of 2020. Was 35 when he was missing. He's now 37, 5'11", 235 pounds, black hair that he shaves nearly bald, and brown eyes. Alexander called a family member on December 1st and said he'd be coming over to do some laundry. He never arrived at the family member's home in Ulysses. Alex has not been heard from or seen by family or friends since that time. Alexander had been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. It's believed that Alexander may still be in the local Ulysses area, or he may be in the Garden City, Kansas, or surrounding areas. At the time of his disappearance, he was 35. He's now 37. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds, has black hair that he shaves nearly bald, and brown eyes. He does have a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. Has Perez tattooed on one of his arms, and he has a tattoo of a cross on a chain across his chest. If you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500, or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can't help get Alex located and back home to his family, because, again, there's another family that's been searching for just over 2 years now, trying to get him found and brought home.
Yeah, and I don't think there's been much information that's been released, in a long time, as far as like hearing about new leads or anything. It seems like everything sort of, I stopped hearing about it, being from Garden City, living there for a long time. So I still share this in the Garden City chat page once every few months, just to reiterate, hey, this is still unsolved. This needs to be, somebody knows where Alexander is, so somebody needs to say something. But yeah, it's just been a while, and you wish you saw a little bit more movement on stuff like this than we do.
Yeah. No, doing good. Just been a busy, hectic day.
Let's talk about Eli Hopkins Mitchell.
Yeah, but he's been missing quite a while too, since March 16, 2022. 17 years old. He is 6'1", 220 pounds, blonde or strawberry hair and blue eyes. He does use the name Eli Hopkins, doesn't usually use Mitchell. He is thought to be in the Topeka, Kansas area. Weighs 200 pounds, has blonde or strawberry and blue eyes. Last known, it had grown out longer. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but last reporting was it had grown out longer. If you have any information regarding Eli's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department, 785-368-9247, or 785-368-9200, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can't help get Eli located and back to where he needs to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've covered him for quite a while.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time when he was missing and found, and then he's missing again, or?
I believe it might have been one other time. Yeah.
All right.
I have to go back into my files and look, but I believe there might have been.
Well, I just hope he finds his way home, because
Yeah, definitely.
he's young. He got a lot of life left ahead of him. He might as well go home and get it, do it right and finish his education and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, Layney Hill. She's missing from Wichita, Kansas since April 6th of 2022. She's 16. She's 5'9", 180 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. Don't have much more than that. So if you have any information regarding Lainey's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI 785 and see if we can't get Lainey located and back to where she needs to be. It's been about 10 months now, so see if we can't get her found and back to where she needs to be.
Yeah. And you wish you'd had more information than that, but that's all.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times that's all you get.
Yeah, sometimes it's pretty basic, unfortunately.
Just height, weight, and then maybe the last clothes they were wearing. A lot of times is all you get.
Yeah.
You still take notes every week?
Yeah, I try to.
Let's write down Ryan Larson for next week.
Okay.
I feel like we haven't covered him in a while.
Okay.
I don't think there's been any updates, but I feel like we should put his picture up again next week.
Yeah. I haven't seen much in the way of updates recently on him. I'll have to do some digging and see. Okay, this one's unique. Raquel Leon, deceased since October 9th, 2010. She was 24 when she went missing. She's now 36. She is 5'7" to 5'10", weighs 130 pounds, has brown or auburn hair and brown eyes. She was last seen, basically, she was last seen at 2400 block of Hartford Street, Southeast in Washington, D.C. Her cousin and her cousin's children were visiting at the time. They spent the night with Unique and her two sons. There were no indications of forced entry into her residence, but her purse, her money, her identification, and glasses were left behind at her apartment. She had very poor vision and always wore her glasses. Her keys and cell phone were also missing. The last call on her phone was at 3 a.m. on October 10th. Again, at the time of her disappearance, Unique was 24 years old. She would now be 36. She, she's between 5'7" and 5'10", weighs around 130 pounds. She has brown hair with auburn strands and brown eyes. Has a tattoo of the names Richard and Yoandre on her lower back and a tattoo of her name Unique on her upper right arm. She was last seen wearing a white shirt and gray pants. If you have any information regarding Unique's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Washington, D.C. Metro PD at 202-715-7300 or 202 looks like 645-8600 and see if we can't get her located and back to where she needs to be. And I do know that they did make an arrest in her case. Let's see here. I'll get you some information in here, hopefully. Let's see. Not from that one because they want me to pay money. Okay, here we go. Looking for the name here. They charged 43-year-old Isaac Moye with second-degree murder. Turner says he knew Harris. News of an arrest is what she believes will help her two grandsons begin to heal as Unique's mom. Today, they're both teenagers now who attend Verena High School. They're still searching for. It appears to be a recovery situation now. It looks like, but so if anybody has information that could help that along, don't hesitate to call that in. And that arrest was made back in 2020 on December 21st, right around that time. So, yeah. Yeah. So if anybody has any information about this Isaac Moyer or what he may have done with Unique, call that in. So bring her home to her family. And it's been years now, almost coming up on 13 this December. So see if we can't get her home. What would be nice is that Isaac Moyer would just give it up. I mean, if they know he did it and he knows they know he did it, and he would be smart to just go ahead and give it up and say, yeah, here's what happened and here's what I did with her. That would be nice ultimately.
Yeah. It's been a long time. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
This one scared me a little bit. I thought we were missing our producer, Brandon Smith.
Yeah, this is Brandon Shane Smith, missing from Greenwood County, Kansas since July 28th, 2022. He's 36 when he went missing. He's now 37. He's 5'11", weighs 240 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. He did not renew his CDL when it expired on his birthday in October, which is very unlike him. He's been known to drive over-the-road trucks with Missouri-based license, work in the oil field. He's a heavy equipment operator, certified hazmat instructor, harvest season worker, farmer, equipment mechanic, was a forklift operator at Simmons. So he's basically a jack of all trades, master of none, it sounds like. And at the time of his disappearance, he was 36. He's now 37. For 240 pounds, his weight does fluctuate. Has brown hair that when it grows out, it gets curly. It kind of almost looks like an afro, and blue eyes. He may have a dark beard, but it is known to have a fade and a goatee. Brandon wears a hat and square-toed Ariat boots everywhere he goes, and he only has half of a foot on the left side due to an oil rig accident in 2012. He has Jackson Dade Smith and a SIDS ribbon tattooed on his upper left arm with ERS in Old English font down his left forearm, as well as a skull and a crossbones partially covering Jesse Lear on his right forearm. If you have any information regarding Brandon's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Greenwood County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-583-5568 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help Brandon, get him located and back home to where he needs to be. Hopefully he's out there safe somewhere, but let's see if we can get him found and back home.
I know that we would not get very far if we were missing our Brandon Smith, so
yeah,
I know it. So hopefully, yeah, Greenwood County. That's another one I've never heard of.
Right.
Let's talk about Jamie. Looks like a Nebraska case.
Yep, he's missing from Bruning, Nebraska since February 2nd, 2023. He's 43 years old. He's 5 foot hair and blue eyes. I am told that he is a friend of Linda Dillard's that's missing from up in Nebraska as well, that we've covered a few times, and that he had went missing shortly after she did, he went missing this year, but yeah, he's now missing as she, so it's kind of interesting since they were acquaintances. If you have any information regarding Jamie's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Thayer County, Nebraska Sheriff's Office at 402-768-6139, or the Nebraska Missing Persons Clearinghouse is at 877-441-5678. See if we can't get Jamie located and back to where he needs to be.
Only been about 7 days, so
yeah. I'm trying to remember when it was that Linda Dillard went missing, because it's been a little while since she's went missing.
We got some good news in the chat room here. Baby Blue says, I have some news to share. On February 1st, I became a grandma to a beautiful baby boy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Victoria says, hopefully all these people make it home soon.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Leonard Crosby, Sedgwick County. That's Wichita area, right?
Yep. Let's see. Linda Dillard, she's been missing since June 16th of 2021. So she's been missing for a little while now. But Leonard Crosby, the third, missing from Sedgwick County, Kansas since February 3rd of this year. So just a few days. He's 15, 5'5", 142 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Leonard's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Sedgwick County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 316-660-3900 or 316-263-6011 or 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Leonard located and back to where he needs to be.
Sedgwick County.
Yep.
Victoria says, are there flyers being given out?
Of which one? Of which case? Or just in general?
Tammy's asking, how often do we do unsolved murders? We try to do one every week. It just really depends on how many people are missing.
Yeah. Any of them. Basically, I tell when I do the flyers for family members and whatnot, I do tell them that they're free to share, print, and post them. If they're local, I can supply them. I'm not able to travel around and take them to wherever they're missing from, but they can be printed. And if it's easier for somebody to print them, I can email them and they can print them out of the email. They print better that way. So, but yeah. And I know some of the folks, families of some of these missing folks will print them out and hand them out, post them up, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I wish I was able to do more stuff like that, but unfortunately, I can't. I wished I could. Between working full time, taking care of my special needs daughter, doing all this stuff, there's just not enough time, unfortunately. Okay, this is Jaden Rob Curry. He's missing from Kansas City, Missouri since February 2nd, 2023. He's 13. He's 5'7", weighs 127 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He was North Plaza Avenue. I'm assuming that's, I don't know if it's an intersection or what that is. Like one street going one direction, the other street going the other way. I'm not sure really. Again, he's 13. He's 5'7", weighs 127 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. He's last known to be wearing a green camouflage hoodie, gray sweatpants, and black tennis shoes. And he was on a black Razor skateboard. So basically, the outfit on the far right was what he was wearing when he was last seen. Family is concerned for his welfare. If you have any information regarding Jaden's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department's Juvenile Section at 816-234-5150 or 816-234-5100 or 816-234-5111. See if we can't help get Jaden located and back to where he needs to be.
That's a young kid.
Yeah, it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon when he was last seen on February 2nd.
Wow.
So it's been about a week now.
I'd be freaked out. So I was his parents.
Yep.
My kids are real young, so if they were missing, it would be very, very, very scary, because they're like 6 and 8, but 13 still, that's too young to be unaccounted for.
Yeah.
Let's talk about James.
Okay, this is James Hall, missing from Topeka, Kansas since January 31st of 2023. He is 16 years old. He is 6 foot to 6'2", weighs 200 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. It's believed he's still in the Topeka area. Again, he is 16. He's 6 foot to 6'2", weighs 200 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding James's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247. or 785-368-9551 or 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get James located and back to where he needs to be.
Yeah, it's a lot of these are really new, just which is good. They haven't been missing very long, but a lot of these tonight have been pretty new.
Yeah. Yeah, and thanks to Tatum for getting all these pulled together for me because I just, being that it's been such a busy day with them do it. In fact, when she pulled them for me and I sent them to you, I was at the laundromat still. So
I'm glad she does that. Yeah, that's a big help. Helps me get them made and
yeah, I really appreciate that she did that for me.
It looks like Tammy wants us to maybe talk about Kenny Collier. She was the one asking about unsolved homicides.
Okay, I'll have to dig that one up and see which one that is. Let me jot his name down here. There we go. Got his name jotted down on my list.
And she says, we're glad you're telling us. It shows someone cares about them. There's still hope.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I do care, that's for sure, or I wouldn't be doing this.
And then Roxanne says, yesterday, 2 girls that had went missing when they were 11 and 12 were found in an abandoned house outside of Lubbock, Texas. They are now 22 and 23. They were kidnapped from Missouri. They got away, but didn't know they were and were afraid to go far. They ate from the trash over the last several years, but they will be heading home next week. They are physically okay, but you can expect suffering from PTSD severely. The families will be able to see them Monday. They did not give out names or city.
Oh, wow. I'm glad they're making their way home.
I'm wondering if it's like a human trafficking. That's just kind of weird to have 2 girls living on the street for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and those poor girls. I'm glad they were found and they're headed home. That's just crazy. Been living off trash and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess you got to do what you got to do to survive, I guess.
That's terrible. Well, I'm glad they're going somewhere safe where they can get a decent meal. Let's talk about Kendra. We've talked about her a couple times in the past, and let's talk about her.
Yep, she's Kendra Nicole Botello, missing from Enid, Oklahoma since July 5th of 2022. She is 24. I need to check and see if she's had a birthday since I did this one. She's 5'8", 115 pounds, black hair, dark brown eyes. She was reportedly seen on July 20th after knocking on the door of a woman's house in Pawnee, Oklahoma, and asking for a glass of water. The woman reported her contact with Kendra on July 22nd after seeing an online post about Kendra being missing. Family states, however, that Kendra was last seen on the evening of July 7th. Kendra is affiliated with the Muskogee tribe. Kendra is known to travel to Bristow, Oklahoma. Again, she's 24. She's 5'8", weighs 115 pounds, has short black hair, but she often wears wigs of various hair colors. You can see several of them there in those photos there. And dark brown eyes. She does have mental health issues and information regarding Kendra's disappearance. You know her whereabouts. Please call the Enid, Oklahoma Police Department at 580-242-7000 or the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation tip line at 1-800-522-8017. Or you can email the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation at tips@osbi.ok.gov. If you have information on her disappearance, please get that in so they can get her located and get her home. Like so you can see she wears different kinds of wigs, different colors wigs. So it's going to be, the most recent picture I was told is the one with the short hair up on the top up there on the second from the left. And it appears to be the one down on the bottom in the center is natural hair color grown out. So that might be something to think about too, as is the one next to the one with the short hair, it looks like. So see if we can get her found and back home.
I feel bad, anytime the flyer mentions that they struggle with mental illness.
Yeah.
Because you just wonder, you know, if they're healthy mentally, you know, like there's such a thing as not knowing you're missing because you're just not mentally well.
Right.
So I just hope that, anybody that's missing that takes medications daily or struggles with mental health, I feel, you know, extra horrible about it. Cause I'm just like, that's tough. Cause I know that if I miss one day of medication, it's rough for me. So couldn't imagine being off meds that long. So hopefully, let's go ahead and talk about Fasika.
Okay. I believe it's Fasika Kinfei Tidell. I hope I said all that correct. Missing from Weldon Spring, Missouri since April 16th of 2022. He's 21 when he was missing. He's now 22. Was not able to get a height and weight for him. I'm still working on that. Has black hair and brown eyes. He was on his way from Orlando, Florida to Wichita, Kansas to visit family. When GPS showed his car suddenly stopped moving west of St. Louis, it stayed there for at least a day before moving. Family was able to learn through the insurance company that someone had sideswiped Fasika on the highway in a hit and run. The tow truck driver took the car to a lot and dropped Fasika off at a gas station nearby. That was on April 16th. Nobody's heard from him since then. He left his clothing and laptop behind in the damaged car. His phone's not working, and as far as family knows, he's not tried to call them on anyone's phone either. And if you have any information on his disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Wichita Police Department at 316-268 or 4111, or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-751-3313 or 573-562-6178, or toll free at 866-362-6422. See if we can't get Fasika located and back to his family. It's been about half a year now, so a little over half a year. So let's see if we can't get him back to his family.
Yeah, I always hate those, and we've covered probably 5 or 6 of them where somebody's missing and they've been like on a long road trip when they went missing.
Yeah,
like it's hard enough when somebody's missing and their last known whereabouts were maybe like home and work, but anytime you're dealing with starting point Orlando and then somewhere in St. Louis and he's on his way to, that's a lot of area to cover.
Yeah.
Well, I just turned on to beam us to the Garden City page, just for this next case. I always like to share to the Garden City page whenever we cover Garden City cases, and it looks like this one is a little bit older. I don't remember covering this one before. Did you just hear about this one, or?
I think we did cover him before.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Blanca Elizabeth Chuck, I believe is how you say that. 22nd, 2022. She was 16 when she was missing. She's now 17. 5'4", 135 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She's believed to be possibly with her cousin Ada Yaneth Yax Calarax, who's also considered a missing, in danger, and runaway. They have not had any contact with anyone since they went missing. Again, in time for disappearance, she was 16. She's now 17. 5'4", weighs 135 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. She has a dime-sized birthmark on her upper right shoulder and a vaccination scar on her right bicep. If you have any information regarding Bianca's disappearance, or you know of her or Ada's whereabouts, please call the Garden City, Kansas Police Department at 620-276-1300 or KBI at 785-296-4017, or your local law enforcement agency if you see them outside of Garden City. And see if we can't get them located.
Yeah. And I shared her flyer in the every town has the gossip page,
Oh yeah.
So I shared her flyer in the gossip page, which sadly, usually, because that's usually where I share any Garden City flyers in the Garden City gossip page. But Garden City does have like some pages that are like
mistaken, Ada was located, so we're just looking for chalk cockatoo we're looking for. So.
Yeah, those gossip pages, man, they have a lot more traction than a lot of the other just regular pages. So I always like to share it there. So, but a lot of people react to it, and so yeah. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Alexis Lord.
Okay, Alexis Lexley Yvonne Lord, been missing since September 16th, 2022. 17 years old. She's 5'2", 100 pounds, blonde or strawberry hair and brown eyes. She went missing between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. on the 22nd or the 16th of September 2022. She has no identification, but she does have her cell phone that works on Wi-Fi only. She has not been active on any social media since Friday, September 16th. And she's 17. She's 5'2", weighs 100 pounds, has dark blonde, light brown hair and brown eyes. Her nose is pierced, and she does frequently wear the bonnet pictured above there in the right-hand picture there. If you have any information regarding Alexis's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-300 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get her located and back to where she needs to be.
I felt like we have covered her.
We have.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully
we can get her located and back home.
Yeah. Here's our last case. I know we've covered Dean before. Yeah, Lawrence case. But yeah, let's cover Dean and we got it located safe, and then we have some time to chat with some people if they're still here.
Okay, Dean Morrison went missing from Lawrence, Kansas on April 2nd, 2022. He's 42, 6 foot tall, 155 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He is a homeless individual, and he was last seen by anyone who was a part of his part of his family on April 2nd, 2022. He usually rides a bus or is on foot or on a bicycle. Again, he's 42, 6 foot tall, 155 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. He may have shaved his beard off. He does have a medium-sized scar on the back of his right hand near his thumb. He's last known to be wearing a dark blue Adidas windbreaker type pants and bright yellow shoes. He may be carrying a backpack with a small green Free State High School logo on it. So you know his whereabouts, please call the Lawrence, Kansas Police Department at 785-832-7509 or the KBI 785-296-4017 and see if we can get him located and back to where he needs to be. I know he's got family looking for him.
Yeah, I remember when we first covered this flyer.
Yeah.
He it's weird how, because we cover so many cases each week, and we've been doing this for a long time, and you get to know these people a little bit. Just the reason I always remember Dean is because like he eerily looks like a really close friend of mine, and I just imagine, and they're about the same age, and I just imagine like how many people's lives would be disrupted if my friend was missing right now. I'm just like, man, Dean's probably got a lot of people that worry about him, care that he's around, and it's just, and we cover so many people. It just, I don't know, sometimes this show's heavy. There's a lot of heartbreak to deal with, knowing that we're never at a shortage of heartache here on this show. A lot of people missing, a lot of people missing their loved ones.
Yeah, let's just see if we can get him found and back.
Double T's in the room.
Yep.
I'm gonna predict Eagles by 50.
I'm hoping the Chiefs pull it off.
Oh, they probably will, man.
I mean, if you've seen the stats, they've got the same amount of wins, the same amount of yards, and everything. I mean, everything identical all the way down.
Yeah, And like I usually like to look up the Vegas odds to see like where Vegas thinks the game is, and Vegas is only favoring the Eagles by 1.5, so it should be a great game. Like you're right, 16-3 versus 16-3, great show up. So
yeah,
I have a feeling the Chiefs are gonna win. As much as I hate it, because all of my good friends are Chiefs fans, and I don't like when they have good times, but Chiefs will probably win.
I hope so.
Tammy's telling him it's better on the Facebook side.
I heard that.
There we go, Roxanne. I was trying to stick up for Roxanne.
I'm a Cowboys fan, so hey.
And you know the Super Bowl is here in Phoenix, and you can already tell. Like basically all of like, so I follow all the local news outlets on Facebook. That's where I get all my news. And all of the news outlets have been like saying since about 3 days ago, like avoid this part of town right now because there's so many festivities going on. Stephanie drove by the stadium today, and they had 2 planes just circling the stadium, pulling huge banners for each team. Like it's a
oh man.
And the game's not until the 12th, and well, they've been here. Like I think both teams got here like 3 or 4 days ago. So this will be my first time being in the city when the Super Bowl happens. I won't be in the stands. I'll be about 7 miles away at my house, but it'll be fun still.
And he'll be sporting his Chiefs shirt and hat. He won't tell anybody that, but he will be. Mahomes was just named the 2022 MVP. Oh, that's cool.
He's the best quarterback on one leg. I'll give him that.
That's cool. Sounds like all the Chiefs were on the injured list or back in active, except for I think maybe one. I think 49ers. Oh, Kelly.
It will be fun to see the Kelsey brothers competing against each other.
Be.
Yeah,
it will be. It was.
It's
going to be. Kelsey will win. Kelsey will win.
Did you see their mom's jersey she had made?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's really cool, man.
That would be. I would hate to be in their mom and dad's position, having to figure out who they're going to root for.
Yeah, you're probably just excited on every play. I'm looking for. Oh, okay. There we go. That's exactly what we're here for. Yeah, both colors of teams. Yeah, the jersey is great. The jersey is great. I'm surprised you don't see somebody trying to sell them because it's a pretty unique idea. She has, a mixture of both teams. Because that's really, honestly, I was talking to Norm about it last night on the show. Unless your team's in the Super Bowl, you don't super care who wins. You're just there for the food and the commercials and the, seeing your friends and family. It's like, so I could see, going for both teams in certain Super Bowls, because chances are it's not your favorite team in the Super Bowl, unless, it's your year. But let's do a quick located safe. We'll be right back. You're watching Kansas Missing Us Off podcast. I have
to the day for the kind of got thrown.
Yeah, you okay. If Tatum is watching, or Ricky, if you could tell her, let me know if we get a copyright strike tonight. Because me and Brandon were talking. That song that's on the Located Safe reel. That's the only one that isn't an original track that like I have somebody that wrote me. So let me know, and I'll find out if that's the problem. But we're gonna replace that for next week too. I completely spaced my head. But yeah, thanks to Brandon for making another Located Safe.
Yeah, it threw me for a loop when we first started rolling because like some of those are pretty old Located safes, and I was like, wait a minute, those aren't the ones I sent. And then the ones I sent started popping up. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, let me see. There was a petition to have the Kelsey brothers' mom do the coin flip. I saw that.
Yeah, and she turned it down in lieu of the military being honored instead. So, yeah.
Thank you, Trisha.
Yeah, I saw an interview with the Kelsey brothers the other day, and they seem like they're really close. I mean, they really support each other and have each other's back, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. I'm looking forward to it. Kelly's not going to watch it.
I'm trying to think. It's a Sunday. I'll be at work, so I'm not going to be able to watch it either.
Oh, really? You have to work on Super Bowl Sunday?
Mm-hmm. Yep, my noon to 8.
You know, I worked in some form of like pizza delivery for like a long portion of my adult life. So I've worked a ton of Super Bowl Sundays. But yeah, now my days off are Sunday and Monday, so I should be good. I should be good for Super Bowls from here on out.
No, I'll keep up the best I can.
Roxanne's wondering if we can mute Kelly since she's a Niners fan. Let me see. Is there a block button? No, I'm just kidding. We love Kelly.
Yeah.
Who cares if she likes the No. You know, honestly, my older brother was a 49ers fan growing up. And although I don't know much I'm friends with Kelly on Facebook. I couldn't tell you how old she is. I'm guessing she's a lot younger than me. So I'm curious to know how she became a Niners fan, because I understand why my brother was a Niners fan, because the Niners were amazing when we were kids. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. But Kelly, I'm thinking, is younger than me. So I'm just wondering what the Niners were up to when she was young. But because my brother was like, I like the Niners. Like, of course you do. They have Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. They're amazing. The 49ers they were amazing.
Of course, being a Cowboys fan, I always have to hear about the catch. Yeah. Montana to Dwight Clark. I have to hear about it all the time.
We don't know what's going on, Double T, but
yeah, I know it's not working, but it seems to be working. It seems to be making my computer work better.
Yeah, you've all have noticed over the last month things have been going a little haywire with Ricky's computer. We're working on some ideas to keep it afloat, but yeah, this seemed to help out a little bit tonight, but it wasn't on purpose. Ricky didn't tell him to turn it off. I think it just didn't work. Yeah, she says she's 32. Her dad was a fan since okay, so she was born into it. Okay, 32. Well, I guess she's 32. She's young. She's old enough that the 49ers were probably still pretty good when she was younger.
Here I figured she was like in her mid-20s. Boy, was I wrong.
She looks very young. I would have thought like 25 probably.
That's what I
just see her pictures on Facebook.
That's what I was thinking, 25, 26.
She says she can hear you better.
Yeah. That's why you see my nice, wonderful green screen back there.
Maybe we should do a GoFundMe.
Well, I've got a Patreon, patreon.com/KMU pod. Patreon.com/KMU pod. People can donate there. I did get a new patron last week.
We could always do a Tip Bruggy brother calendar.
Right. For dart practice, maybe, but
people pay us thousands of dollars not to release it.
Well, if I wouldn't
Yeah.
have had to have bought a car today, I could have done that, but I had to get another vehicle. So,
Hey, man, your windshield wiper flew off, man.
yeah. Derek is the same age as my daughter, says Roxanne.
I did have a good birthday. I don't know. My kid got sick, so that was kind of lame. But other than that,
I saw that picture of you kicking back in your recliner with your cake.
yeah, I was looking for it. I can't find it, but yeah, just pretty normal birthday. I don't know. Like, I think you're supposed to. I think you're supposed to have a panic attack on your 40th birthday and feel like it's almost over, but I don't know. I felt like it was just a normal day. I went to work. I
For me, it was my 39th birthday because my dad died when he was 39, and I just kept thinking, is that going to be me? Is that going to be me? When I hit 39. But it came and went and keeps getting further and further in the rear mirror. So 50 this year. So here in
see
about a month and a half.
you and Norm, the two guys I do shows with. I think you're both 56, man. I think.
Yeah.
But his dad died at 49, I believe. Of or maybe 50. No, his dad died at 56 of a massive heart attack. Your dad died at 39
of a heart attack, massive heart attack.
And Norm, like maybe 3 weeks ago, he kind of just announced on the show that he had realized that he had lived 1 month longer than his dad did so far. So he was just like, I think he had the same thoughts that you had. I think he was like, you know what? He's like, I'm older than my dad ever was. He's like, so any day that I have from here on out is gravy. He's like, so I'm glad I made it this far. And he's like, I'm just gonna appreciate everything from here on out. But yeah. But I was telling him, like, my parents, everybody lived to be old and decrepit. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've got this picture sitting on my desk over here beside me over here, and this is a picture of my dad when he came up on the police force back in 1966. He's here on the end. And then this gentleman right here is Glenn Kokonowski, who was on the police department for a lot of years and eventually became sheriff of Saline County here in Kansas and was sheriff until he retired, and he passed away not long after that. But him and my dad remained very, very good friends until my dad passed. So, yeah.
Jeez.
So that's kind of where you see where I get my appreciation and respect for law enforcement is from my dad, because he instilled that in me at a young age. May not always agree with some of what they do, but I still do respect them and respect their work, and it's a hard job and very hard job.
Trisha said that was her 30th birthday. Double T says windshield wiper flew off, rearview mirror fell off a long time ago, barely running. Thank God he.
Yeah, my old Crown Vic was hanging on barely.
What that message translates to, Double T says, I'm tired of giving him rides.
Double T don't have a car. he borrows his friend's car from time to time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kelly's dad passed when he was 62. Both of my dads are still kicking. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, Ricky.
Yep.
You know what to do to get us out of here. And then we're going to be back Tuesday.
Yep. I'm just going to thank everybody for being here. It was definitely a good show. And I appreciate it when you guys all drop in and hang out with us and go over things with us. Really do. And I hope everybody's sharing the show out and letting everybody know that we're here so we can help out some other people that may need help with, a missing loved one or an unsolved homicide or, whatever they might need help with. But, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together to allow us to go through these cases, and definitely want to, try to get these to the right people so we can get these people found and back to where they need to be. There's a lot of families hurting and need your love and support, and your arms wrapped around them, Heavenly Father, and we pray for that tonight. And until we see each other again Tuesday, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. God bless and amen.
Well, I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought, and a person the way that I talk, and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arm, to this playful assault, to disgrace in this arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the